Well, welcome to Encounter. I'm glad that each of you is here today, just making some time out of your week to celebrate and love your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We did this song last week. It's called Nothing's Impossible. So as we sing it again and get a little more familiar with it, just please get excited, get crazy, and just show the love you have for our God. Through you, I can do anything, and I can do all things, 'cause it's you who gives me strength. No, nothing is impossible. Through you, blind eyes are open, and strongholds are broken. I am living by faith. No, nothing is impossible.
Is this? There it is. All right, cool. You guys can go ahead and have a seat for a moment. And wow, it got a little smoky in here. I'm starting to be able to sort of see the back of the room. But Anyways, it's good to see you here tonight. Welcome to Encounter. If any of you, if this is your first time here tonight, I want to say welcome. My name is Sean. I'm one of the pastors here on staff, and I think we're in for a cool night tonight. The band is already killing it, and so you guys appreciate the Encounter band? All right. Getting better and better every week, and I love it. And so it's been awesome to just see them really put everything they have into what they do, and so it's pretty awesome. Just a couple of announcements before we get going. Actually, back in the back here, my buddy Jacob is working tirelessly to fold these things, and what we have available to you right now, starting tonight, are the forms, the registration forms for our youth camps. Who has been to camp before? You know that the camps that we put on in the summertime are quite possibly the coolest event you'll ever be a part of in your life. And I know that by experience, both as a camper and as one of the people planning the camps every single year. And it was at camp when I was 16 years old was when I first started to actually really take Jesus seriously. And so since that experience in my life, camps have been super important to me, because what we have is we plan out an entire week that is just geared towards your age group. And so we've put in a ton of work already. Our team starts working in September to plan these camps, and so it's been awesome to see where it's already come. And you can grab one of these registration forms. Once they're all folded, they're going to be back right where that garage door looking thing is. They're going to be on that ledge back there. I want to encourage you to grab one of these, because the first 25 or so that come in, we are going to have a significant scholarship available to everybody who turns those in, the first ones. After 25, that scholarship's going to start going down. But we want to make sure that everybody who wants to go to camp can go, regardless of the ability to afford it or not. So my family, unfortunately, growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. And I had to rely on other people to help me pay for camp every single year. And that's just the case for some of us. Some of us can afford to parents can just write the check and it's all good. But others aren't in that situation. And if you would consider yourself, your family would have a hard time coming up with the money for you to go to camp, I want you to go to camp anyways, and we will do everything we possibly can to make sure everybody goes that wants to go. Cool? So these will be available over on the ledge. And you can grab one of those, bring it home, look it over with your parents, and it's got information about who's speaking and kind of what's going on, what our theme is for the year, and all of that. And so it'll be awesome. After your group is done tonight, you can come back in here. We're going to have the camp video from last year kind of looping on the screens, and so you can watch that and see what it was you missed last year and what you can look forward to this year. So cool? Awesome. That, and we talked about a comedian that's going to be here, 2 comedians actually that are going to be here May 4th. And so I just wanted that to be on your radar. May 4th, here at the church. I believe it's at 7 o'clock. And so we aren't going to have regular Encounter that night, but that's like 3 weeks from now, so you don't have to worry about it yet. We'll talk more about it between now and then. So what I need is, I need 2 people who aren't afraid to get shot in the face. Well, hey, we got way too much of that stuff, so let's kill it with that. All right. The 2 of you in the back, green shirt, gray shirt. Yep, you 2. Yep, come on up here. Okay. Here's what you're gonna be doing. We're gonna borrow these chairs. My homeboy Cole is locked out. Forgot the code, eh? Morgan, you want to help him? You know what? Okay. All right. So what you're going to be doing is I need each of you to take a seat. Okay? Okay, Cole's in the room. We're good. Cole's going to bring you guys some tools. Hey, let's Sounds good. All right. So here's what's happening. Once they figure out how to not choke us to death with smoke. All right, so Cole is bringing you each a Nerf gun. Okay? There's this. And fortunately, you're both wearing glasses, so this is good. Your eyes are safe. So we don't need to bust out the big guns.
All right.
Okay. What you're going to be doing is you are going to put this cup on your head. All right? Okay. So you can put that on your head, or just hold it for now.
Upside down or upside up?
Upside down. It's a big part down. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking turns trying to shoot the cup off of each other's heads. Okay? Now the way this is going to work...
Is it cheating if I put it in the back of my head?
Dude, gravity isn't going to really work in your favor if you do that. So the best, your best bet is going to have it in the, like, as centered as possible. And so you're going to shoot, and then progressively we're going to have you move the chairs backwards. So we will keep track of who shoots the cup off of the other person's head the most. Cool? All right, that doesn't count for you, by the way. All right, so the way this works is you have to, you know how to cock the gun? All right, don't point it at me. Don't point at me. I'm just an innocent bystander. All right, so the way this works, you got a bullet in the chamber right now, okay? And then you got three on reserve. But so once that one's shot, you got to put another one in there, okay? And then if we feel really saucy, Cole's here with a little more ammo if we need to bust that out, okay? So ladies first. So alrighty. So whenever you're ready, and you have to make sure that the cup doesn't fall off your head while you shoot, okay? All right. So you're gonna go first. You ready to go?
Yes.
All right. Are you ready to be shot?
I think so.
All right. Ready? Aim. Fire at will. Whenever you're ready. Oh, all right. So there we go. So, okay. Are you ready? All right. Ready? Aim. Fire at will. Right in the forehead. Yeah. All right. We're still tied 0-0. Put another bullet in the chamber. All right. Now what I need you to do is you can stay right where you're seated, and if you could get up out of your chair, I'm just going to move your chair back a little bit. Yeah, you can hold that. All right. All right. So now we just got a couple feet back. We're going to go again. You first. All right.
Crap.
All right. All right. Uh-oh. There you go.
All right, thanks.
Hey, I got your back.
What? You messed up.
Nerf guns don't aim the best, but... All right. You ready? All right, go ahead and shoot. All right. For sake of the game, we're going to leave the chairs where they're at, all right? You ready with another one? You loaded?
Yep.
All right. Whenever you're ready, you shoot him. Shoot.
Oh.
Whenever you're ready, shoot. He shot. You just missed. Oh! All right. You ready again? All right. Oh, just winged it. All right. You got one more bullet?
Yes, I do.
All right, band, you guys can come on out, by the way. What I think we should do...
How are you?
All right. Closer? You're like 5 feet away! Like, I can touch both of you at the same time. This is, all right. You ready?
I think so. You know?
All right.
I don't know.
You know what? He just kicked your puppy dog. Shoot him in the face. I mean, right above the face. You're up, so.
All right. I mean,
Oh, all right. She went for it, swung and missed. All right, are you ready? This is the same spot in the forehead you hit her before. All right. Let's load them up one more time. Cole, you want to help me grab some darts? I think there should be a few over there. All right. We're going to give you each 2 more chances, okay? And then what I'm going to do is if you still haven't hit, I'm going to get some volunteers to shoot for you. You're still going to be sitting though. So, all right. So here's one more for you. Go one more time. You got one shot. You're loaded. So whenever you're ready, you can shoot at his cup.
can I shoot at his face?
No, you want to hit the cup. If you want to shoot at his face, you're welcome to shoot him in the face. But you want to hit the cup if you want to win the game. All right? All right. Ready, set, go. All righty. All right. You ready? All right. Ready, aim, fire.
If you shoot me in the forehead one more time, me and gonna have some problems.
Just missed it. Okay. I need a volunteer. Right here, you. Let's give this gentleman your weapon. All right. Hold on to it. You, come here. All righty. Just stand up to the side because he's going to shoot first. All right. You got to stay back here. Once he's got his cup on his head, you take aim and fire. The bullet came out? Hold on. No, it didn't. Oh, that one doesn't have one yet. All right. All right. You got one? Okay. Oh, it's dropping them, man. Here, try another one. Here. Try again. Oh! Okay. I need 2 more people. Haskins and you. All right. There you go. Derek, give me that gun. All right. Oh, it's loaded. All right. You're first. Oh, he misses. All right. Yeah, hold up. All right, Ellie, you go. You're going to hit that same spot in the forehead. All right, one more chance. You guys go sit down. Donner and Ian, get up here. All right.
Do I get the big one?
Yep, I need you to use this one. I need you to shoot that cup off his forehead. Can you do that for me? Where's the band, by the way? Where's the band at? Band, come on out. As long as we gotta get some cups shot off. All right, put that on your head. Donner, you shoot him and you shoot him hard. All right. Ian, score. Hey, band! Band, you guys can come out. All right. Ian, shoot that cup off her head, please. All right. All right, give it up for our participants. You guys can go take a seat. We got Nerf guns all over. You guys both lost. Everybody lost in that one. Thank you. All right, why don't you guys stand with us tonight?
As we sing this song, just remember that our God truly is alive, and He's alive in here today. So please just think about that and just think about how great our God is. Waking up knowing there's a reason. All my dreams come alive. Life is for living with you. I made my decision. You lift me up, fill my eyes with wonder. Forever young in your love, this freedom's untainted. With you, no moment is wasted. See the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I am found. This is living now. And this is living now. The way, God, you're right beside me. In your love I'm complete. There's nothing like living with you. This life you created, I choose. And see the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I am found. And this is living now. This is living now. You take me higher than fervent love that sees me soar. God, your freedom is an open door. You are everything I want and more.
Our God is alive, and He's alive in this place today. Just feel His Spirit, just feel His presence among you as we sing.
See the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I am found. And this is living now. This is living now. You take me higher than I've been before. It's your fervent love that sees me soar. God, your freedom is an open door. You are everything I want and more.
Luke 19:37-40 says, "When he came near the place where the road goes down the Mount of Olives, the whole crowd of disciples began joyfully to praise God in loud voices for all the miracles they had seen. Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord. Peace in heaven and glory in the highest." Some of the Pharisees in the crowd said to Jesus, "Teacher, rebuke your disciples." "I tell you," he replied, "if they keep quiet, the stones will cry out." This next song that we're about to sing is about worshiping God with everything you have, giving your all to the glory of our God. The lyrics in the song even say, "I will sing it out until my voice won't let me." So please worship with everything you've got and give your heart to Jesus, because He deserves all of our praise.
You came to earth that you created. You walked beneath the stars you named. You came from heaven holding freedom. Jesus Christ, the Lord our God. I'm gonna sing until my voice won't let me. As thunders roar, I'll shout your praise. You are the light, hold yourself in. You dwelt in time that you designed. Creator lived in His creation. Completely man, completely God. I'm gonna sing until my voice won't let me. As thunders roar, I'll shout your praise. You're the God of everlasting wonder. Your love outlasts the end of days. And I'll lift your name higher and higher. And I'll sing your praise louder and louder. And your love goes deeper and deeper. And you reign forever and ever. And I'll lift your name higher and higher. And I'll sing your praise louder and louder. swore I'll shout your praise. You're the God of everlasting wonder. Your love outlasts the end of days. I'm gonna sing until my voice won't let me. As thunder swore I'll shout your praise. You're the God of everlasting wonder. Your love outlasts the end of days. I'll lift your name higher and higher. I'll sing your praise louder and louder. And your love goes deeper and deeper. And you reign forever and ever. You may have a seat.
I didn't turn my mic on. That was awkward. So anyways, but you guys heard my question. Right at the top of everything tonight, I forgot one key element, and that was the giveaway. And so I did my random drawing, and it came up with Savannah Connolly. Are you in the room? And I believe it also said this is your first time here, right? Is that sweet? Well, welcome. Here, you were selected randomly to win a big giant bag of Skittles. Don't eat those all in one place. So, anywho, tonight we're continuing. Wow, I think this is kind of hot. Can we turn down? I yell a lot, and I don't want to blow anyone's eardrums out. And so, last week we began this series called Viral, right? And we talked about how that word used to mean something negative, and so it would be like going viral would have meant like. It wasn't something anyone wanted, because it usually referred to some sort of a disease or plague, like something that started small and just like straight up attacked everyone it could around. And so going viral was not something that you wanted to happen. And now in the last few years, that word has sort of flipped and turned into like when something on the internet starts out small and just blows up, like random videos. In fact, Justin Bieber is who he is now because he put out a video on YouTube that went viral, and people listened to it and they actually liked his music. And so some record producers caught wind of that viral video, and boom, you have whatever has become of Justin Bieber today. And so chances are you've even seen something go viral even this week. You may have even seen something go viral today. Maybe it was a picture, a video, a meme, or some sort of a post, and whatever it was probably funny, or it may have been even awesome, or it may have been in some way interesting, okay? But here's a question that you've probably never thought about, is whatever you saw that went viral, the question is, look at me, the question is, why did it go viral? Like, you can look at any video of a cat on YouTube, And you look at it, and there's like millions and millions of views. And my question is, why did that cat video go viral? Like, straight up, why? Why is it so funny when a cat is on the bottom of a ledge and it's trying to jump up onto the ledge and it misses and pulls the whole thing down on top of itself? I guess I just answered the question because that's hilarious when a cat does that. So anyways, it's funny because last night my son Hudson was taking a bath, and we have this new kitten that is about 7 weeks old. Her name is, forget her name, Pebbles, I think. And I just call her whatever comes to mind. So, some days she's Rocky, some days she's, I don't know, whatever comes to my mind, that's what I call the cat. Well, she's in the bathroom with my son as he's taking the bath, my youngest son, Jackson. He's almost 2 years old. And so, naturally, he starts laughing because every once in a while the cat would try and jump up onto the ledge of the bathtub. And so he's sitting there, and he just sees his cat head just appear and then disappear, and appear and then disappear. For me, on the outside of the tub, I'm watching as the cat's, jumping. I'm like, please make it, and then fall into the tub because that would be awesome. And so, but anyways, I was really disappointed when the cat didn't. I was like, we're ironically doing this series called Viral, and I could probably just videotape this whole fiasco, watch the cat jump up, fall in the tub, and boom, we could have a viral video. But it didn't happen, unfortunately. But anyways, there are organizations that spend tons of time and even money researching what it is that makes things go viral. And one organization that's famous for this is a website called BuzzFeed. Okay? And they shared what they found in their research, and they said people are more likely to share something if they have a strong, positive, emotional response to it. So in other words, someone sees a video and they have this emotional response to it. They really enjoy it in some way, and so they share it with other people, and that's how it spreads and people see it. So basically, something is more likely to go viral if you care about it in a good way. Something's more likely to go viral if you care about it in a good way. That's on the screen. You can write that down. That's good stuff. If it makes you laugh, or if it makes you smile, or if it makes you feel inspired to do something positive, you're off to a good start. Sure, negative posts are shared every single day on Facebook and everything like that. But what BuzzFeed and several other researchers found is that positive always goes further. Positive beats out negative every single time. That's what this series is about, is making good things in our lives, and not just things that are online, but making good things in our lives go viral. So last week we talked about how generosity can go viral, breaking the power of greed and spreading generosity to others around us. And I hope and pray that you took that challenge last week to explore this idea of generosity and look for opportunities to be generous. Tonight we're going to talk about something else that has the potential to go viral, and I'm pretty sure it's not a word that you use every day, and that word is compassion. Okay? Compassion. Get that word in your head because we're going to talk about it quite a bit in the next 15 minutes or so. Compassion is simply caring enough to do something about someone else's need. Look at me, okay? I see a lot of people turning around, laughing, poking each other. You got time for that later. Right now, let's focus up here, okay? It's compassion, simply caring enough to do something about someone else's need. So it's on the screens. Let's be honest here, okay? Look at me. Let's be honest for a minute. There is always someone around you who could use some help or who could use some kindness. You don't have to look too far. Even in here, in your school classrooms, in your family, there is always someone around you who could use some help or some kindness. Maybe for you, it's a kid in one of your classes who can't seem to pass a test, let alone even get homework right when they come back in. Or maybe it's a kid in your small group whose family is struggling financially. Maybe it's a cheerleader in your middle school who always seems to get left out of the squad. Maybe it's the custodian at your school who seems to get treated like crap by all the students around. And you see that every day, and it makes you hurt inside for that person. Yet we just kind of walk by because it's awkward to do anything about it. Or maybe it's your mom when she's running late and she gets stressed out. Or maybe it's something bigger than one person. Maybe it's something like a ministry that not nearly enough people are involved in. It's something that you care about. You're like, this organization, this ministry could do so much good, but there's just simply not enough people who care about it. And you care about it. Maybe it's a kid in your community, a kid in your neighborhood, who you know that their family has a hard time even affording food. Maybe it's students in other parts of the country, other parts of the world, who don't have shoes to wear, don't have a school to attend. And you've seen videos on this, and you're like, every time it comes up, you're like, someone's got to do something about this. The reality tonight, students, is that needs are everywhere. But even though we see them, we don't always want to do something about them, do we? We just don't. We don't know what to do from time to time. It's not that we're all cold-hearted people. But if we're honest, showing compassion to somebody can make us feel a list of different emotions. It can make us feel awkward. Like, stepping up to help someone can feel uncomfortable. Like, if you help someone in need, like, there's all these questions like, what will you say to them? Like, what will they say to you? What will other people that see this think of you? So it can make us feel awkward. It can make us feel powerless. Like, maybe we see somebody who's in need and we want to help, but we just don't know what to do. We don't have the resources, we don't have the time, we don't have the money, we don't have the influence to make a difference. And so even if we did, we're like, I can only help one person realistically, so it's not like we can end world hunger by helping this one person, or end world hunger by the time we finish our junior high career. And it's nice to help, but we feel this burden inside where we're like, why should I bother when I can't really make a difference? And we battle with that in our head and in our hearts, or we feel overwhelmed. And maybe there is something that you can do, but even if you can clearly help an obvious need, the question is like, where and how do we even start? We think, I'm just a 6th grader. I'm just a 7th grader. I'm just an 8th grader. What can I possibly do to help this need? And while these feelings, students, can keep us from helping and showing compassion where it's needed, they aren't the biggest things that keep us from acting. They aren't the biggest things that keep us from lending a helping hand. There is something else that keeps us from helping other people, that keeps us from caring for other people. And to understand it, we're going to have to look a little bit at the life of Jesus. You can talk to anybody who has studied the life of Jesus, and they'll tell you his life is characterized by compassion. Even people who aren't Christians, even people who don't buy in to this idea of Jesus dying on the cross and raising from the dead, they will still agree that Jesus was known for being one of the most compassionate people who ever walked on this planet. It's in history books. He stopped to help people, to help women, children, sick people, and anyone else who the culture considered unimportant or outcast. Jesus stepped in every time and did something about it, made a decision on a snap, and just went for it. And so you have to ask yourself, what did he know that we don't? What did he know that we don't? We find a clue in the book of Matthew. In the New Testament of the Bible, which is basically all the books written either during or after the life of Jesus. Old Testament was written before Jesus, New Testament written after Jesus. So the New Testament begins with 4 books that are all written about Jesus' life, written by 4 different people who all experienced Jesus in a slightly different way. And so they all wrote their perspective, and Matthew was one of those people. Matthew was a tax collector in the time, okay? He was a person that would have been despised back in that time. He was a definite outsider until he met Jesus. And so he writes the first book in the New Testament. Matthew tells us about several people who Jesus healed, including a deaf girl, a blind man, and a guy who couldn't talk. And so religious leaders that were around at the time, they felt threatened by this guy. They felt threatened by Jesus, and they started telling people that Jesus was working for Satan. It's like he's doing all these good things, and they're like, hey, we don't do as good of things as he does. He's making us look bad. Let's tell everyone he works for the devil. Okay? And so that's what they did. I wouldn't suggest trying to spread that rumor about people you don't like. It doesn't really work good. It makes you look worse than it makes them. So just, if you get the urge to tell people that Morgan is working for Satan, just don't. You're going to look worse than she is. She's going to look better than you every time, okay? So just don't do it. So anyways, with that in mind, Jesus kept up his work, and the crowds, out of curiosity, these crowds just kept showing up by the thousands. And so Matthew picks up the story. Matthew chapter 9, verse 36, the first part of verse 36. It says, when he saw the crowds, he had what? Compassion on them. This verse is just a tiny little snippet of Jesus' life, but I don't want you to miss what Matthew is saying here. Jesus saw these people, and he felt something for them. They certainly weren't people who all liked him. They certainly weren't people who all agreed with him, but Jesus cared deeply about all of them. He was moved by them. Seeing crowds was what triggered his emotion. And in other words, Jesus cared, not just because he physically saw people, but because he paid attention to the people that he saw. He took time to notice people. And if you and I were honest, we'd admit that that's not something that we are often doing on a regular basis. The most common reason we don't help people is because we don't notice them. It's not that we don't care. It's not that we're not nice. It's that it doesn't always cross our minds. And you're probably going to identify with one of these scenarios. We're busy. You've got classes you're rushing to. You've got homework. You've got your theater group. You've got your band. You've got sports. You've got church. You've got family. You've got friends. The list goes on and on. All these things that are fighting for your attention. And so it's difficult. It's just straight up difficult sometimes to take the time to actually see people. And your busyness, don't get me wrong, it's not that it's bad. You're just trying to focus on doing a good job. And I get that. That's how we are. But with that in mind, our mind is always racing towards the next thing. We're constantly, like we accomplish a goal we're working on. We finish that one class and we move on to the next one and so on. And it can be so easy to just speed past people without ever even noticing what they're going through. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I often live with my head down. Like I'm looking down at my work, I'm looking down at my phone, I'm looking down at whatever it is, and I'm thinking about what I have to do next, and I'm just trying to make sure I keep everything straight in order, and I'm getting all the things accomplished that I have to do, and I'm thinking about what I have to do next and what I have to do after that, and I get so focused on what's directly in front of me that I can go oftentimes entire days without noticing who's around me. And I bet I'm not the only person in here who gets like that. That's why it's such a big deal that Jesus saw the crowds. Not just like in his peripheral vision. You know what peripheral vision is, right? It's like those things that you kind of see out the corner of your eye, but you don't really focus on them because they're not directly in front of you. You focus on this stuff, peripheral's kind of out here. Like I can see that there's hands moving, but I'm not really focusing on them. I'm focusing over there on James with his video camera. And so Matthew continues in this passage. It's such a big deal he saw the crowds, not just in his peripheral vision and not just as a blur, but as a central part of his focus. So he sees all these people around him in this central focus. And when he saw them, he was moved. So Matthew continues with this. I'll read that first part again. 9:36. It says, when he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them. Get this next part though. Because they were harassed. They were helpless. They were like sheep without a what? A shepherd. When Jesus looked at the people who were around him, he didn't see outcasts and people who wanted something or people who didn't even like him. He saw more than what they were. He saw why they were that way. He didn't just see their current status, he saw what inspired their status. He saw people who had been harassed. He saw people who had been mocked. He saw people who had been taken advantage of. He saw people who needed help, and they needed someone to protect them, like a shepherd would protect the sheep in their flock. And it's amazing how when you take the time to really pay attention to someone, you'll stop seeing just what they do, and you'll start seeing why they do it. That totally changes everything. It can help you see that people with different situations going on, maybe in different circumstances than they appear to be in. That know-it-all in class who just never seems to think he's wrong, maybe he just doesn't feel important any other time. And that's his chance to try and feel important. I don't know what it is, but maybe that loner who just never seems to be around anybody isn't sure they fit into anybody's group. And so they just don't try to fit in because they're like, nobody's going to accept me. So they just kind of back off. I don't know. Maybe that's the case. Maybe it's not. Maybe that guy who just seems so hateful actually has some really tough stuff going on in his life at home. And that's kind of his outward expression of that. Maybe that arrogant girl just wants to be someone who matters. Maybe that scattered teacher is going through some sort of relationship difficulty at home. Maybe that person in school who just seems so dumb isn't actually dumb after all, but he's distracted because one of his parents is really sick and going through something. And so often we hear the word compassion and we think it's something we have to create, and sometimes that's true, but more often, compassion is sparked in us when we take time to look around and notice and see what's really going on with people. Compassion is fueled by focus. When we focus not just on what people do, but we focus on why they do what they do, that's when we're moved to care about people like Jesus cared and continues to care for them. We no longer focus only on what's right in front of us, but we can focus on how we can really help them. Jesus made compassion go viral. He cared about other people. He especially cared about people who were considered outcasts and people who were considered unimportant. And he cared about them in a way that it made other people pay attention. Pay attention to both those people, and they paid attention to him. And so that's what happens when we show compassion. Okay, students? Others see Jesus in us when we are showing compassion, but they also see value in the people that we care about. They pay attention because they see us paying attention. And in that way, compassion begins to go viral. Compassion begins to spread. And it starts by taking time to notice people, because compassion is fueled when we start to focus. Noticing others doesn't come naturally to us. I get that. But it isn't difficult to do either. We just need to be reminded. And so this week, what I want you to do is I want you to practice noticing people around you, okay? You can have fun with this. I want you to practice noticing people around you. Don't just pay attention to who's there and pay attention to what they're doing. I want you to try and notice why they are the way they are. You guys over here, okay? Look at me. Don't just notice who they are and what they're doing. I want you to try and figure out why they're doing what they're doing. You can ask God for his help in this. So many times we're like, I don't know how to pray. Just ask God to help you figure it out. Say, God, help me see what I don't normally see. And I bet when we really try and we really pray that prayer and we really mean it, God will begin to show us some things we don't normally see. Maybe even type that prayer into your phone as a reminder to pray every day. The goal is that with God's help, we begin to see the crowds around us the way that Jesus sees them. I want you to pray, to bow your heads with me for a moment. Jesus was particularly moved by people who were harassed and helpless. If you're new here, I want you to know that following Jesus is about reading the Bible and praying, but it's so much more than that also. While those things are absolutely essential, following Jesus is also about striving to do the things that Jesus did. We're not going to be perfect in that, don't get me wrong. But we can see people through the eyes of Jesus. In this case, that means paying close attention and caring about the people who are around us, because the reality is compassion is fueled by focus. And some of you are here tonight, and you may be just beginning to flirt with this whole idea of is God real? Is Jesus real? And you're beginning to see him maybe in a way you haven't before. And tonight, I'm not going to give a big opportunity in here, but if you're there tonight and you want to put your hope and trust in Jesus for the first time, I want you to do something bold. And I want you to go to your small group leader before group even starts and just say, I want to put my hope and trust in Jesus. They'll know exactly what you mean, and they can begin to walk you through that process. Let's pray. God, I thank you for who you are. I thank you for the fact that you didn't just create us so we could just kind of scatter on this earth and do our thing and just do the best we can until we're done. But Lord, you've given us the opportunity, the tools to see people through your eyes, to see people the way you see them, to see ourselves the way you see us. And so God, just like we were talking about generosity last week, help us to make compassion go viral. To see people and not just see their status, not just see their condition. But Lord, help us to see why people are the way they are. And that we can love people in the way that you call us to. That we can just be a listening ear to someone that may just need that. And so God, as we break off into our small groups and we discuss this a little bit more, we pray that you be with us as we do this. That you'll help us. Help those of us who are just wanting to begin a relationship with you to have the courage to talk to somebody about that tonight. So God, we thank you and we love you. We pray these things in your son's holy name. All God's people said? Amen. We're going to bring up the light.